military is in a different situation, obviously, because they are, first of all, not treating patients. Second of all, they are not there voluntarily. It's part of their mission that's been assigned to them by their commanders and ultimately by me, the commander-in-chief. So we don't expect to have similar rules for our military as we do for civilians.
That comment from President Barack Obama differentiating between American military forces and the general public when it comes to handling Ebola in America and abroad has lit quite the firestorm. So we begin our political analysis right there. Welcome back to MidPoint. Political analyst and co-author of the best-selling new book, Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation. Written with wife Eileen McGann. Dick Morris joins us once again on the show. Dick, good to see you again.
Hey, good to be here.
Let's get to it with President Obama. Let's see, they're not there voluntarily, and all of a sudden, I'll tell you what, the military spouses came out of the woodwork on this one after he made that statement, saying, wait a minute, our family, that's our family, our loved ones, what, they're less valuable than civilian volunteers? Sometimes you got to wonder if actually the president pre-reads his speeches, Dick.
Well, it makes so much sense, you know. The military is not involved with patient care, so they're going to be subject to the quarantine. But doctors and nurses who are involved with patient care will be on the honor system and able to move about the country as they wish. I'm not sure anybody, even in the White House, could explain that dichotomy. The fact of the matter is that everybody should be subject to the quarantine. This is not a life sentence. It's a 21-day thing. And our knowledge about how this disease spreads, whether it can spread before it gets symptomatic, whether negative blood tests early in the gestation period indicate that the person is free and clear or not, is far too limited for us to take that chance. And it's no great hardship to have to stay in a room or for 21 days for 3 weeks with room service and everything else. I think that he's right about the military, but I think he's completely wrong in terms of the medical personnel. If the medical personnel don't understand the need for a quarantine, they shouldn't be medical personnel.
And Dick, from what I understand, the young lady who came back and then was put into a New Jersey quarantine for a couple of days, she's back in her home in Maine right now, and she says, I'm leaving my home tomorrow. I'm breaking quarantine tomorrow. The governor of Maine wants to get involved here and basically set his own rules. And again, the federal government does nothing to step in here, even though, and again, we're not trying to elicit panic here, but you still have to take the right moves just to make sure that nothing disastrous happens.
It's important for us to understand legally that the state has police power. The federal government does not. The state has the right to take extraordinary action to protect the health, welfare, and safety of its citizens. There is no such power for the federal government. The president has a statutory authority to quarantine, but the ability of a governor in a state to take action to protect his citizens in this sole instance trumps federal authority.
Now, we also understand, too, that the State Department quietly making plans to bring Ebola-infected doctors and medical aides to the United States for treatment. This was an internal department document that got out. The White House had to try and peddle their way through this very quickly now. Again, this is something that I think that the American public is going to worry about. What, you want to bring more people here? Why shouldn't we treat them, as someone said, over there, instead of bringing them into America?
This is incredible. Does this president not understand that if he simply let things go in their normal course, let quarantines happen, let people be treated abroad, join nations like Australia in a flight ban, that if there were an Ebola epidemic in the United States, nobody could possibly blame him? But by intervening in it, for some unknowable reason, refusing to ban flights, which 30 other countries have done, including 10 African countries, by bringing people here who have Ebola, by not insisting on a quarantine, by saying people that are exposed to civilians are on the honor system. They're supposed to phone in their temperature every day. In the meantime, they're free to do whatever they want. For him to do all that means that if there is an Ebola outbreak, it is on his doorstep.
And suddenly a lot of American people are going to be saying we don't want it on our doorstep, and the president says maybe we should have it here. And a reminder, too, that more than 10,000 people around the world now have become infected with Ebola. I should just say that's just in Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea.
But we only have a few seconds. Ed, by December 15th, 1/8 of Liberia is going to be infected with Ebola.
Astounding. And still, we have to have this discourse as if it's something that needs to be discussed and considered even. All right, Dick, stand by after the break with Dick Morris. 5 key midterm races, and it all begins with this little state of New England and how they could set the tone. And later on this hour, a return to power for the greenback. That and much more coming up right here on MidPoint, where we question